Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And I want to give special thanks to the Light members, our membership group who we put Allana in the call-in today. So Light members, you know where you stand with everything. Just come on board, ask your questions, become alive in this conversation with us. And thank you all. And of course, thank all of you for joining us on this really special call. And it's so special. Allana is just radiating this energy, this vibe that I want all of you guys to be able to experience and participate in. And we're going to get deep into the conversation of discovering lockdown love, but what that means, how do we attune? What does that mean beyond meeting in relationship with others as well for us, which is truly where it starts, right? So this is going to be a fantastic call, and we're going to go into attunement. We're going to go into awareness, and you're going to witness someone who's embodying what she teaches and how it's created this wave in her life that you can see the energy vibrating from her now. It's you're going to want some of this, no doubt. So let me tell you a little bit more about Allana now. Last time Allana was on, she talks about relationships. She talks about finding love and really being the catalyst for that within yourself. But I don't think she gives enough credit really to her intuitive capacity, her ability to tap into the field. Or maybe she does, but it's not her bio. It's not what I see on the site necessarily. But the attunement that she has to a frequency and to a flow that is inviting us into the experience and expression of greater love in our lives. And so I'm really looking forward to today's Q&A session as well. And I'm going to highly encourage that you guys raise your hand and ask any personal questions that you may have in relevance, of course, to today's conversation. To tell you a little bit more about Allana, she's an intimacy expert and a global media personality and go-to authority for those who have suffered heartbreak and are ready to live unapologetically and attract an open-hearted, ideal relationship. Her vulnerability, it's just, I love the transparency and courage. Landed her a featured weekly column on the GoodMenProject. She's been chosen as an icon of influence and featured as guest expert on Huffington Post, People Magazine, Forbes, CBS, ABC, Fox, and The Jenny McCarthy Show. This Ivy League grad is the author of 6 books, and interviewed Whoopi Goldberg and Alanis Morissette, and hosts the edgy podcast, Intimate Conversations. And it is edgy, I love it. Where listeners learn how to find relationships that they deserve. She's a certified coach with close to 5 million viewers on YouTube. And Allana was also asked by Leeza Gibbons to coach her during Dancing with the Stars. And while supporting several nonprofits, Allana also launched HeartMates, Become the One to Find the One, a dating app and intimacy training all rolled into one. Allana, I think you're slacking. I don't know about all these things. It's amazing. Amazing.
You're so sweet. Oh.
So wonderful to have you back. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me back. And thank you for being you. Just knowing, like, when people mention you, I have different colleagues that have been on your show as well. Whenever you're mentioned, I have this thing in me that rests knowing that you exist, that your vibration is vibing. I'm like, okay, John's got it on that corner of the earth. Okay, I got it over here. Like we're in this together. I appreciate you. It's great to be back and serve your beautiful community.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the topic, discovering lockdown love.
Yeah.
What's your awareness? What's been rolling through the consciousness?
Well, to me, it's a time when a year ago when COVID hit, it was like a choice point. We're either going to get out in front and ride this wave of fear, mental health crisis, or we're going to let it, take us down. And I definitely chose to get out in front. That's why I created HeartMates. We're now calling it a partnering app, the world's first partnering app, a new category, because dating apps are designed to keep us single. Their business model is designed to keep us single and hurt and not learning how to communicate and not learning how to forgive the past, which is the opposite of what we do. And so that's been going super well. And funny enough, whenever we give that which we seek, It's a figure-8 loop into the universe, and it will eventually come back. And so what's really funny is I'm in love, and my dating app tech CTO of my company is in love, and I'm going to my first arranged marriage in India in, in December.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know. And it was both from showing up to serve and getting out in front and creating that safe space for people to date with others that are doing the work. You know, when that first tough conversation happens, my clients, they're ghosted, you know, and they're devastated. And I'm like, oh, not on my watch. So this is the space I've created. And I really believe now is the time, if we continue to do the work, continue to integrate the wounds, continue to attune to our highest selves. There are others that have slowed down to really feel what's important right now and to be met in this way with your ideal match. It's happened
Yeah.
to me, and it can happen to you. And it's happened to you.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing what's coming through. It's funny. I just got a message, but I think I'll ignore it because I'm in Kauai and I'm on lockdown for 10 days. I chose to do that. And so the National Guard's here to check on me, but they're going to have to come arrest me because I'm not leaving this conversation. So excuse me.
Bring them into the conversation.
We'll tell them all about love. You found love during lockdown.
I did. I walk my talk. Yes, please.
What did you notice had shifted in you to go from a place where, again, you were serving others and all this, and I know that you have gone through this journey of perhaps putting relationship back because of these other things that needed to graduate in your life.
Yeah.
What shifted? Like what allowed that to come through, or what expanded in you to be able to be met in this way that you just look absolutely glowing in?
Thank you. The impetus was contributing bigger than I could control. So in the past, if I could see it and figure it out, then I would risk, because there was a pretty good chance I would figure it all out and succeed. This was bigger, John, than anything I'd ever done. I can't even use my friggin' phone. Like I'm going to create a partnering app. So it was so much bigger than me. I had to let go of control and let life have its way with me. In my own attunements over the years, when I first unhooked from that custody battle for 12 years, I got attuned to the 11th dimension, like the angelic realm. I brought in my Andromeda, my warrior, knew I could get through this. But it wasn't until I popped through the 12th dimension to my avatar, my 144th dimension, that's what happened when I said, no, I need to be bigger than beyond the matrix. I need to be bigger than my control. I need to do it right, look good. I had to have it all figured out. I surrendered. I surrendered in service to those I love, my clients, my community, and even those that I could feel that I'd never met before, and let the field have its way with me. Like freaking use me for humanity. And I just got out of the way, jumped off the cliff, and started to ride the wave of, I still have choice. I'm still discerning. I'm still aware, but I'm so much higher in my ability to wield energy and create magic and know what I know, pre-thought. And I've never been here before. And I would say the catalyst was service, contribution.
Yeah, well, I find the interesting thing of service is that we believe we're being of service, but the cosmic joke is that we're doing it all for ourselves. We wind up receiving the gift of we're hoping that others are going to expand in.
Well, this is what happened. And as I began to show up more on these calls, as I said, do you know Yannick Silver? And he's a lovely cosmic being who was leading a call that I attended. But he literally followed up with me after and said, your light was so bright. It was like 60 people on this Zoom call. He goes, your light is so bright. Who are you? And what do you do? And you must be an alien. And I'm like, probably. So we started talking, and he said, in 5 days, my Maverick community is going to Costa Rica. In my meditation this morning, you were there. I saw you there. I'd like you to come. He says, but you need to jump through all the hoops. And frankly, I do very well in my business, but I'm not yet at the $1 million a year mark. And that's the minimum for this group. And I do make a tremendous impact with humanity, but I don't have my own charitable foundation yet. I tithe to various nonprofits. There was these boxes to check, and I didn't quite make it. And yet I just owned it. unattached, and I knew I would be a contribution. And if they didn't want to choose me, that's fine. But I see myself there as well. And I'm ready to serve and play at that level. And he said, you're in. And so in 5 days later, I was in Costa Rica with these people. The first guy I sat beside is worth $500 million. And he was giving me business advice. And this one has 120 houses. Like, I was
Right.
playing at this level that I'd never been at, John. And I had this moment when they all met at the airport. There was this private jet once we got to Costa Rica to take us to this private beach. And they knew each other and they were coming together. And I had that moment, I'm sure a lot of us have, where we feel left out. We could choose to feel not good enough. We could choose to close, lower our vibration. But I said, no. And I opened my heart and I was just happy for their joy, happy for their connection, happy for the difference they're making, happy for their abundance, happy for the love that they had cultivated, just happy for them, not outside in with my worth, inside out. I'm enough, right? And there was the man I fell in love with.
Wow.
There he was. And I looked at him and I was like, dang, he can see 9. I don't know why the number 9, but I felt he could see 9 levels into me. And I
Wow.
was willing to let him. There was just, I don't know if that's lifetime or dimensions or quite what was going on, but I'm like, I'll have me one of those. Thank you. But and yeah, over the next 3-4 days of me being fully self-expressed in the drum circle, fully self-expressed, I got to lead a process for the whole group as well and take them deep into processes that I invite people at the end of this call to go deep with me as well. So I got to take the whole Maverick crew through the integration of something really intense, and they are of the caliber that I could take them there. And by the end of it all, I had surrendered and fallen for this incredible man. And I'm in Utah, John, I'm in Utah. Yeah, I've been claimed and I've claimed him, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. What are the process that you took them through? What were you activating into?
Yeah. Well, these people have already made all the money. They already have, most of them, a lot of success in relationships. They're at the level where, how can we live till we're 150? And they're about health and well-being and impact. So I thought, just your basic little process isn't going to do much for them. But here's the thing. If you're afraid of death, you're not fully living,
Mhm.
right? And if you're afraid to live, we sometimes, cop out and we're like a dead, but we're really alive, right? So through an intuition of death and life, life and death, where I took them to feel all the way into death and all the way into life, so much in each of those dualities. And then I integrated them into pure presence, grace, and oneness. And it was profound. They were crying. They no longer had a fear to be alive or a fear to die. They were just being fully self-expressed. And a couple of them had some wobbly moments. It was probably a group of 30 people that I took through this. Normally I'm on Zoom, but when they're really crying right in front of you and they're really facing their fear of that next level, it was a privilege to have their back and
Mhm.
to take them all the way through to the other side, including the leader, Yannick, and other very impressive people. Yeah, it was an honor. It was an honor.
Wow. Amazing, amazing what comes through. And again, the synchronicity that unfolds. And so one of the aspects that I love about the story that you're telling is also your willingness to kind of drop and go, to follow your intuition, because that wasn't planned. And you had 5 days to really make it out there. So you really had a
Yeah.
day or two to decide, if even
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yes. I had to get the flights organized. I had to get my visa organized. I had to get gowns. They wore gowns to all the events. I didn't have gowns. So I went to the consignment store. I had to have blue gowns because it was a blue zone that we were in. Everything was blue themed. But here's what I listened to. I don't listen to this first anymore. I'm a cum laude graduate of Columbia University. I'm a super smart girl, but this is limited. This is just like a file folder. It's like rearranging the furniture in the living room. But when I start in my heart and I start in my yoni, my of my intuition and instincts, I start there. The energy was so light. It didn't make any sense. I didn't check all the boxes. 5 days, I had to rearrange clients and everything, but the energy was so light and so buoyant. It almost pulled me. And so that's how I made the decision to go. And that's why I believe everything fell into place. And I believe the universe not only wanted me to have the experience of being fully self-expressed with people that I would consider better than me, more successful than me, and let go of that shit and just be unattached and meet the love of my life at 51. And I'm a bit of a cougar. He's 7 years younger, but that's fine with me. Yeah. And be willing also now to change my life. I used to live in California for 20 years with my son. But my son is 18 now and I can set him free. I no longer have legal and physical custody. And it's time to no longer have excuses to be as big as I really am, John. You know? Yeah.
And I hope everybody is listening to that. No longer have excuses to be as big as you really are.
Yeah.
Because what I'm finding, Alana, and again, during these times of change, during these times of the lockdown and whatever's evolving through this, because again, I always say it's happening for us. It's happening for us.
Yeah.
And there's an emergence that's calling. And it's really an emergence that's asking us to step up or inviting us to step up into that bigness as leaders, but without the responsibility of leading and really embodying and walking through that embodiment. And for me, that's the leader of the new age.
Yep. I love what you're saying here. When I began to articulate my purpose years ago, when I began personal growth, it was the embodiment of God consciousness. And then I was like, scratch, the delicious embodiment of God consciousness. I'm like, okay,
there you go.
I'm going to be in this body. We're going to have some fun. And what's really wild since I've gotten to Utah, which has only been a week, my 144th avatar has integrated with my higher self. This process, I didn't even ask for it. It just happened. I suppose I was ready. I was just doing my regular energetic work. And this energy just shot up and jolts everywhere. And now when I connect, I'm like right there instantly. And this is like days old, people. So the work works, keep doing the work. You never get there. But and I really believe, John, it's this one and one is infinity relationship that I'm in now, that Alana, we could call her wounded Alana, did the soulmate relationship. You know, you complete me, codependent, I need you, all that stuff, 2 divorces, right? Okay. So, and as I've done my work to be whole and find a whole mate, 1 and 1 isn't 2. It's not even 1 and 1 is like 11. It's like 1 and 1 is infinity. That we, my partner and I together, hold for more of me to come forth for humanity, and I hold the space for him, for more of him to come forth for humanity. It's like we're catalysts to awaken something dormant that is possible when we each become whole and find a partner that sees us like this. And I believe those relationships can be both personal and professional.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. So even more has happened since I've gotten here with my ascension and my energy and who I can be for others simply by my energy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I love the 1 and 1 and into infinity. I was in a photo shoot last week. I was in a photo shoot out in Santa Barbara, and the woman who I'm seeing now for quite a few months, deeply in love. We did some pictures together, and the photographer was like, "Wow, you guys are amazing." He's like, and he described it like this. He goes, "You're like this candle that's burning really bright, and she's a candle that burns really bright on her own accord." It's like both. It's like each one is so powerful of itself. It's like you light up a room.
Yes.
Universe yourself, and so does she. It's like one isn't stronger than the other, but when you fuse it together, what becomes illuminated is just
okay. Total shivers. Yeah, totally. Yeah. What do you think it was? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, it's your show, but I wanted to ask you a question. Am I allowed?
Yeah, what's the question? Let's do this.
What do you think shifted for you? Because if I look back, it was okay, contribute in the face of anything, go beyond my excuses, show up, listen to my knowing, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I walked right into him. How about you?
Mine was a process of letting go of past wounding of when I grew up. So a lot of abandonment energy, a lot of wobbling in relationship in regards to my mother and father, which is really where it stemmed from. where I kept showing up and in this need to accommodate and to acquiesce to others to make sure that they would stay around. And so walking in my integrity as opposed to walking for somebody else.
Mm,
And in that truth and allowing that emergence to just keep revealing what was possible when I bring back that candle energy, that candlelight back into myself and allow myself to be illuminated. Before, the candle was perhaps hidden behind a filter. And so I was attracting the soulmate relationship, like you said before,
yeah,
the ones that are, the in and out, the ones that need something to grasp onto.
yeah,
But once you lift the veil off that candle, allow it to illuminate, you really are attracting an integrity, an integrity within you first. It's like, this is who I am. This is
yep,
how I shine.
yep.
And the accord, the vibrational accord that gets met in that has the opportunity to find you, and you find each other in that. And so it's a letting go into my authority, my power, the light
Yes,
that I can emanate,
yes,
and to be seen in that so that the right thing can show up instead of this thing that I'm trying to control. From that space, you can't control it.
yeah,
You can't
yeah,
plan for it. You can prepare, you can do
yes.
all these things, but the checklist doesn't show up in the way that we think it's going to show up.
Thank you. How beautiful. I so honor you. The inner work is intense. It can be very intense.
Yeah.
And the letting go of control, that level of bravery while being present and keeping your heart open and still serving while being out of control. It's like, to me, in Star Wars when they go like light speed, you're like, "Wah!" Right? Um, and yet you've got your own, as you said, inner sovereignty, inner authority, inner agency, right? And so when we all do the inner work and the letting go of control, which is a process in and of itself, over and over and over, and be present and show up, and this becomes the new normal. And it's okay that it's a little wobbly and a little intense, and it's not about doing it right or looking perfect anymore. That vibration is the real John, the real Alana, and has attracted your ideal partner and mine. So I'm really happy for you.
It's amazing when it shows up. So how do you guide people into getting into that level of congruency and that integrity within themselves? How is it that you help your clients?
Mm.
Because you said you're not going to let them fall into something that's going to wobble them, that's going to take them be ghosted, and again to go through these experiences that can really defeat our ego tremendously.
Yeah. I love my clients and my community like my family, and I have a very like mother bear to protect them. And not but and like I'm glad I've created Heartmates. That's super. And there's always the universe is giving us in ghosted. Where are we ghosting ourselves?
Mm,
In having those emotionally unavailable partners, where are we emotionally unavailable to ourselves? In those partners that judge our sexuality, where are we judging our own sexuality? Right? It's always happening inside, no matter what is happening outside. So the way I take them through with different quantum psychology processes, which are different than, I'll just break that down just so people understand what I mean if they don't know. The way I've been trained, so I have my own connection to my higher self and my own vibration that in and of itself, I don't put it in my bio, but it is healing. It is healing just to be in my vibration. And I own that.
mm,
And I want to not give them a fish like I'm a guru. I want to teach them to fish so that they can process with themselves and learn and grow along the way themselves. So, what I've learned and what I've been trained in is when the image, the thought, the emotion, and the body sensation, like a four-leaf clover, that is how an event and a trauma, a trigger gets lodged into our being and vibrates with the field to get more and more of that, like a figure-8 loop that comes back all the time from the universe. You're going to get more and more of that. And quite often we only do one aspect. Let's just do some therapy. Helpful, but not enough for lasting transformation. How about just some vision boards? That'll do it. No, helpful, but not enough relief, but not transformation. Let's just have a good cry. Let's just have the emotions through. Helpful, but not again transformation, or just some tapping, wonderful and supportive. But until you get all four elements at the same time duplicated with that event, it cannot in a lasting way integrate from a low vibration of fear to a high vibration of allowance, confidence, from pain to, oh, gratitude. The very worst has brought out the very best in me, from shame to full self-expression, from sadness, betrayal to forgiveness. Like this energy can't go anywhere, people, but it can, like alchemy, change to, as you said earlier, the embodiment, not just the cognitive analysis. Sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit doesn't do shit because it's just sprinkles. But when you actually integrate to a higher vibrational energy within you, embodied, you don't have to try. You don't have to go 10 more affirmations just to be in a good mood. You don't have to do this. You wake up being this way. Yes, I still do my morning practice. Yes, I still have my practices, but I wake up vibing higher, and that goes out into the quantum field, bringing me back higher vibrational thoughts. Thoughts don't live in our brain, people. It's not like you open up your brain and there are the thoughts, no more than you open up a radio and see the little musicians in there. That's not how it works. It's a frequency. And if your vibration is low, you can only pick up on thoughts that say, I'll be alone forever and die alone.
Mm.
However, when you do the work of integrating these different wounds, as we're talking about, to a high vibration, the thoughts that arise out there are, you got this. Your partner's on their way to you right now. And then vibrationally events pull to you, like meeting your beloved, like me being on that call with Yannick, to him being in meditation, seeing me, to me saying, okay, here's who I am and here's who I'm not. Take it or leave it. I'm unattached. And him saying, we'd be honored to have you there. And me going through the motions of open my heart in the face of this, close, open my heart in the face of this. Like the work, you've got to still do the work, people. You got to still show up. But all the practicing you've been doing, all that embodiment allowed me to be there and be present with each and every person at that event. And to dance my ass off during lunch when no one else did, because there was a musician and I was having fun. And the old Alana would have just been appropriate. But the fully self-expressed Alana was like, no, I'm going to dance because I can, because I get to. And then be an inspiration to invite others up, right? That's what we're all here for, just being our authentic selves.
So beautiful. Y'all, do you think Alana is a little passionate right now and knows what she is talking about? So
it works. Wonderful. That's the thing. And I want this for everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love the space that you're talking about, again, by having this, by doing it fully, by going in and interweaving it and getting out, because we'll get high vibration. It's not that lower density information doesn't come in, but we calibrate to the higher vibrations so much more quickly. It's not that you don't get tired from time to time and a negative thought might not slip in or something. It's kind of like, but we adjust, we recognize it's like, oh no, this is where I'm choosing to live. And you keep going back.
Yeah. And then you get into a relationship and here's this amazing man that I met, but that's just the beginning. Now there's a whole other around the DNA spiral. I go up, get triggered, and he gets triggered. And we have these capacities because we've learned how to sit in our own fire. We've learned how to have an intimate relationship with ourselves. We've learned how to be in the uncomfortable energy in the shadow and transmute it. We can be with each other and stay connected and literally be the space for each other to transform right before our very eyes. And we are both more alive. All of our friends say we're both more of who we are since meeting. Got to say the sex is just insane, which I love. And I feel more youthful and more vibrant, and the business is thriving and more magic's coming for both of us. And we both choose to be more for humanity. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, once you have that, you can't help but to want to share it with others.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so powerful. You mentioned a couple of things, but I really want to, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I have a feeling, but lockdown, how do you think lockdown served?
Yeah.
In helping the spreads?
For those, I'm sure all listening or viewing right now, we're the light workers. We're the ones that are willing to do the work. We're the ones willing to be that butterfly in the cocoon and work our way out and see the good in the discomfort, see the good in the questioning, in the doubting, in the facing that which we haven't slowed down to face and feel. So to me, discovering lockdown love is, what is the gift in this lockdown to set me free? Where have I been locking down my truth, locking down my energy, locking down my belief that I deserve, whatever it is, to do the work and to be with others who do the work, so that you attract somebody that if we can all get through lockdown together, if we can do the work in the face of lockdown, hell, we can get through normal life. So I think it's the greatest time to weed out the conscious from the unconscious, the willing to lean in to the ones that hide, the willing to see the gift in something to the ones willing to blame. Like, it's just so clear when you get to meet somebody, like with our partnering app right before your date, you're given a heart coherence meditation. So we're all in our happy place when we begin the date. But a lot of the questions in your profile, and that I invite people to ask, how has lockdown been for you, not against you? Pretty quickly, you're going to see whether people's point of view is that even challenge is for me, not against me. And that's the kind of person you want to grow with. There's no perfect person out there. There's no perfect relationship out there. But who you be in the face of challenge, that, really distinguishes the wounded kings from the kings, the wounded princesses from the queens. And that's the community that I'm committed to creating for people when they find the one.
That's wonderful. Is there something that you can give the audience to start discovering perhaps the ways that we're in the unconscious as opposed to unconscious, to find out where, if there's that negativity that's showing up and we not be aware of it, and that shadow aspect, and really to find the goodness in it, the gift in it that is wanting to evolve through us?
Yes. Well, I'll tell a vulnerable story and then I'll give an example so we can all have this tool. In this last year, when I started the app, I looked for investors. So I have a C corporation and I have the SAFE agreement for equity, and I'm learning how to expand my business with investors. The first person I went to pushed all the daddy wound buttons in me, said all the right things. And it turns out I made a loan to get a return on investment with a fraudster. And the shadow I had to face when I discovered this was, so we have to sit in the discomfort. Where was I allowing my intuition to be pushed away and it just looks good. I don't want to have to face anything. I don't want to have to do what's hard. I don't want to have to ask the tough questions. I don't want to risk rejection. I don't want to risk looking bad. I just want it to be easy, like to slow down when something in your life isn't going well, and to not judge yourself, but to have awareness. Where is the belief from the chin up running the show? The fear, the excuse, the justification, or the blame or the criticism, something that's running the show. Because underneath, it's generally because we don't want to face or feel something. And that's what I vulnerably had to discover. I didn't want to have to go through 5 investors until I found the one. I didn't want to face all those places where I felt stupid and I didn't know how to answer the investors' questions about, is it going to be a Series A acquisition? Are we going to get bought? Is it an IPO? All these things that I didn't know back then. I didn't want to have to learn. I didn't want to feel stupid. So I just went for the first one that believed in me. He was a past client. He said he wanted to thank me because I helped him find the love of his life, and I bought it hook, line, and sinker. So one of the first places to look is without judgment, bringing compassion and empathy for yourself. Look at where that pattern is continuing in your life, and then get somebody like you or me or a coach that you trust to sit you in that fire and face that shadow. And I would say once and for all, to integrate that wound so that it's no longer a blind spot anymore, so that you can stand unashamed that I was gullible, I was naive, I was scared, I was lonely, whatever it was, and forgive yourself and bring that little you home into full embodiment, full integration, so that when that test happens again, when that same energy comes around again, you see it, you smell it, and it doesn't take you down again. And you rise in vibration to a partner that won't do that to you again, because you actually learned your lesson. So these are my own lessons that I learn with my coaches. Just so you know, I have a full coaching practice, but I have my 3 coaches because I'm always a student. I can never see my blind spots. None of us can. And if I'm up to play a bigger game, the next blind spot's going to be there for me to integrate, which it did. And now I'm through. And my greatest fear was my new boyfriend would think I was stupid, foolish, naive, a drama queen. I was afraid he would reject me. And in fact, the opposite happened. with him and his new tribe and new community. I shared this, pretty scared. And they said, oh yeah, that happened to me. What? You're only out 150? I lost 1 million. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not the only one. We all grow and face these moments where we get taken advantage of. It's how we grow. It's how we grow. No one's perfect.
What a wonderful story, and what a testament in courage, but also what a testament in walking forward in life. Because, and I hope you all are really paying attention to this and come back and listen to the replay, and specifically this part, listen to the whole thing. But walking through and being willing to be vulnerable and being willing to be wrong.
Yeah.
Being willing to be wrong, and how uncomfortable that can feel.
Yeah.
But getting to the other side of it, and how do we know? How do we know? And if we're not moving the energy forward, this atrophy that's happening, we're slowly dying. The vitality that wants to emerge from us, even as we age. Alana, you look amazing. You look, give you 35. You say you're 50.
Thank you.
But again, it's that vitality that flows when we're living.
Yeah.
Allowing that energy to flow through us instead of stagnating in fear.
Yes, it is so brave to allow the energy that's uncomfortable to be integrated. I'll admit it's not fun. And yet on the other side, I guarantee more life force energy can have its way with you, more vitality, more money, more joy, more multi-orgasmic. Yes. Can like a lot of joy can happen. And I'm not one of those, fakers. I'm not going to say, oh, take this pill and do this little affirmation. You'll be, no, that's actually BS. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to take bravery, and it's going to take going through a process or two. But I will guarantee on the other side is the success, the love, the joy, the abundance, the health you're desiring. But there is no quick fix, people. Those are the charlatans, the liars. Please. And I bought it too. I just wanted a quick fix and an investor so I didn't have to be uncomfortable. So I get it. And now I'm learning more. I've applied to Y Combinator. I'm up in front of all these new investors who are asking the tough questions, and I'm being authentic. I don't know. I'll get back to you. But now I'm learning so much, and I'm feeling so confident, and I'm cultivating the savviness that when the numbers do get into the millions and we're valued at 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, and I understand about equity, like I know what I'm talking about, and I'm honoring my money, and I'm honoring my company, and I'm honoring the people who I'm here to serve. And I'm forgiving myself for when I was scared, and I'm getting back up again. And I'm not letting anyone or anything take me down. And that is a gift that we all deserve to embody, that no one and no thing, no circumstance will ever have the power over us to shut our hearts. It doesn't mean we're not going to be scared from time to time. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a fight or a bad date or whatever it is. But it means get back up again better because of it. That I can guarantee.
Oh my God, it's everything that you're saying yes to. And again, you're walking your talk, and that's where you're teaching from. And that's, for me, those are the new leaders. Those are the ones that are really expressing and showing what's possible, not talking about what's possible, or creating a glimpse of something that they experience and then trying to teach from that glimpse. That doesn't hold. That's not real transformation. We're not really sharing something that's viable for people when that happens. So learning and walking from that is absolutely, thank you. Just thank you. Y'all, I want to open up to Q&A with Alana. So if you want to ask your personal question, raise your hand or type your question into the chat box. But before we do that, we have to get into the special offer, because everything that you're talking about, Alana, it's so ingrained in the special offer about becoming the one.
Thank you. Yes.
The one. And so y'all, the link to follow along is in the chat box. Click on the link there, or if you can't find it for whatever reason, just go to a new browser and type in beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Alana24, and it'll take you to that same page. And Alana, guide us through what you put together for our BTO audience.
First off, the main gift I would say is the 2-hour intimacy training and energetic processing and integration that I can take you through, because everything else is awesome. Like I have amazing books and thriving intimacy guided meditations. And there is a virtual cuddle puddle. We're going to give you access to this as well. My latest book, From Heartbreak to HeartMates, Discover Lockdown Love. All of those are extraordinary products, but I'm going to be super honest with you. They will be sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit if you don't go through the 2-hour intimacy training and energetic integration that I'll take you through. That is the gold, to be in my presence, to help you go through a deeper integration of that thing, that pattern, that sabotaging, reoccurring pattern. That is the priceless gift I can give you in this process, so that you can finally be free of that. And then everything else you receive will be like, put you on steroids or a huge catalyst, because my energy is in the words of the book. My energy is in the guided meditations that you will receive, even the most latest book as well. This is the way I can give you exponential results with this program. To be with me deeply, and let me heal this for you. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm so excited for everybody who's going to participate. It gets a 60-minute of exclusive time with you on Zoom, and again, the book. And you've got a couple books in here which are amazing. How to Be and Stay Sexy. It's like, love what you carry in that. The Thriving Intimacy, your 35 days for guided meditations for women. And y'all should read the testimonials on this as well. You've got Embrace the Sacred Erotic You, Deepen Confidence, Ooze Sex Appeal, and Enrich Your Relationships, guided meditations. Yes. And that's a big one, Allana, because sensuality expressed creates a form for creative expression to flow through, and it's such a attractor, a magnetizer.
Yeah.
It's so important for our vitality.
Yes.
And to discover and be in a flow of it and play with it, releasing the guilt and shame.
Totally. And so important that we don't give mixed signals with our sexuality and attract someone that will judge us because we're judging us, or be in the way of us expressing exactly who we are, so that the people and the synchronicities and the money can flow to us as well. That full flowing sacral chakra is your birthright and your gift for vitality, money, and love. So yeah, that's a delicious one. And then for him as well, the How to Be a Noble Badass, even for women to read that. Like, I was just on Mind Valley. I was first time to be interviewed by Mind Valley yesterday. And they were asking me about this noble badass, because all of us have masculine energy within us and feminine energy, and noble would be the heart. Badass would be our ability to penetrate the world with our gifts, talents, and genius. So that's important for both the gentlemen and the ladies to read as well. Yeah, I'm all over my offer, but also I want you to know I'll teach for an hour, but I'll also do Q&A for an hour. So it's 60 minutes of training and teaching and integration and processing, and another hour of your specific questions that I'm here to go deep and answer for each of you.
And again, training from someone who's embodied. It's just in the way that you carry it, and your just awareness of the different components and how you walked this journey for so long. It's amazing what you've created here. And for me also, it's, again, becoming the one. Yes, in personal relationships, and that's a catalyst within itself. But as you integrate your ability to be a magnifier for these energies, it attracts in your health. It attracts with money, with prosperity. It attracts emotionally. It even attracts to our ability to communicate to other realms that we have open consciousness with, once we release those barriers that have been kept in us weighed down for so long.
Everything is there waiting for you. Everything. And this is not a woo-woo statement. This is a very scientific statement. This is like a knowing that it's just the vibration. It is just the integration of the womb. That's it. I promise you, it's all right there. You don't have to, it's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you don't deserve it. It's none of those. It's literally a vibration that when we integrate that, it is humbling, breathtaking to receive all that's waiting for you. And yeah, for me to be able to support you with that so you can receive that, one, you'll be so joyful, so healthy, so abundant, but you'll feel, yeah, I am meant to be here. I do belong. I got this. And there will be a joy and a slap your ass as you get out there and give what you're here to give, and a letting go of attachment, because you'll just be in the zone. And it's just joyful to be alive. And I don't do group calls. Like, if you need to sign up for a year to get access to me, even in a group basis. So this is a rare opportunity just to be in my presence to let me love you, not to try to be arrogant or anything like that, but just to let you know this is a rare opportunity for us to be together so intimately together with me without being a part of my programs that normally you need to join for a year in order to be with me. So it's my honor because you guys walk your talk and do your work and you're part of John's world and you're the type of people that I love to be with.
Oh my God, what a fantastic opportunity. Again, I cannot recommend working with Allana enough. And she is very sought after, high-end embodier. I couldn't call you a coach or a teacher or anything like that, just an embodier. And just tune into that energy and acclimate. Just in the presence alone, you begin to acclimate. And by learning how to be in vibrational accord, not by healing your past, not by going back into the story, not by these other things that we've done plenty of course, those have their place, but just by being in vibrational accord and knowing how to attune the energetic frequency, it's a game changer. Everything else falls into place gracefully from that place.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all, the special offer, it's $97. It's crazy. Thank you, Allana. 2-payment option, 30-day money back guarantee. It's ridiculously generous. And I hope that you all take advantage of it. Again, the link's in the chat box. You know where to find it in the browser already. I've already mentioned it. Again, I hope you take advantage and really enjoy and really thrive as you move forward. Allana, I want to open up to Q&A if you're open to it.
Please, yes.
All right, let's go to our first caller then. Pierina, let's go to you first. Welcome.
Hi, John. I didn't think of a question. I was hoping you'd call me later. Hi, Allana.
Hi. I remember you. Do I remember you from last time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful to see you.
Yes, I feel better. Thank you. But I'm still single and in lockdown, so I haven't been going out. And I'm on a dating website here, but really nothing's going on. So I don't know, maybe I'm just in the wrong city. Maybe that's just a story.
I think it's just a story. You know, my HeartMates, I encourage you to go to HeartMates.app for sure, because the community is all people that are practicing. And we have these, so this is what I would recommend for you, Pierina, to be in deep conversation with those doing the work. I have an option with HeartMates. I'm not sure how John's community is or other communities, but the practice of showing up deeply right out of the gate. We often go, oh, I just need to show up so they'll like me and have a second date. Screw that. No, show up as your deep heart, your open vivaciousness, your authenticity, and your vulnerability right out of the gate, because how you show up is who you're going to attract. So being in conversation with people instead of, so what do you do? And what have you, like go right for the, how's the very worst brought out the very best in you? And get to know them that way. How has lockdown been a gift, an unexpected gift? How has your past relationship wound turned into? Give me a vision of what it's like to be with your ideal, I call them heartmates, your ideal partner. You know, paint a picture for me. Like, be willing to be brave and put yourself out there as a practice on Zoom, okay, or on FaceTime or what have you. But if you could give yourself a goal of like every single week, I'm having one deep conversation, get that under your belt, then go for 2 a week. The practice of showing up authentically and letting go of attachment to the result will start the energy flowing through you, and it'll flush up the wound. It'll flush up what's in the way. And then on our intimacy training, let me integrate that for you for the next level of showing up. Because even me, who's vibing high and doing my thing, oh my God, so many triggers are showing up with my new guy. And I'm right there to integrate them. I'm right there to integrate them. I'm no different than you, no better than you, just maybe a few steps ahead on the embodiment train. But we're all in this together, sister. Yeah.
Beautiful, Pierina. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Yeah, that embodiment train and going through the ups and downs and risk and vulnerability. And it feels that heartbreak. It's like, it's just like we're breathing through it and showing up for ourselves. And every time I've shown up for that on the other side of it, whether my heart got broken or wanted to shield it up and I chose not to, or expand it into something new, had I not tried, I would have been stuck in the same place. And that's the biggest suffering of all for me.
Oh, and the regret. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So risk it. It's worth it. Y'all have heard me say on the like group, but dare to have your heart broken, a million times over. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Yeah. Amazing. All right, let's go to our next live caller. Michelle, welcome. We can get you to unmute, please.
Hi, John. Hi, Alana.
Hi, Michelle. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. You look fabulous. Congratulations on your new love.
Thank you. Thank you, sister.
Oh, well, I'm just wondering, I'm dealing with a bit of heartache, and I'm just wondering what you're sensing, like if you're getting anything intuitively regarding that.
Thank you. So for me, the way I like to work is not to give a fish, but to teach to fish. So I could just give you information, but then you will give away your power to anyone to tell you what to do, how to feel, how to heal. I would rather awaken the goddess knower in you. So tell me what the challenge is that you're feeling in your heart right now. What is it like to be your heart? Like if I said, not even talking to Michelle, but talking to Michelle's heart, what do you want to let me know right now?
Well, I think my heart wants to say that it needs the courage to communicate what it really wants, and it needs to really get over people that don't appreciate Michelle.
Thank you. So there's a wound of not being appreciated in there. Yeah, good. And so I would invite you to come to the intimacy training so we can integrate this heart wound, because what your heart is saying is there's a gap to close so that I can be honored and appreciated. But if you and we don't take the time to go in and appreciate your heart and heal your heart, how can we on the outside receive that which we haven't given on the inside? Right? So for you to develop the capacity, because I don't know about you, but my heart got hurt when that damn investor turned out to be a fraud, right? I was like, oh God. And my heart I felt like such an idiot. So I had to do exactly the same thing I'm going to teach you, so that then you have a skill that any time in life that your heart does get the owie, the wound, you know how to go in, integrate into the new level of embodiment of allowance, compassion, empathy, which will over time turn into courage and bravery to open your heart in the face of anything and keep going and keep showing up to receive the love that is your birthright. But we can't receive it if our heart is closed. And even though I do have coaches and I do have mentors and guides and what have you, at the end of the day, my commitment is to know what I know. And so my invitation is for you to practice that muscle of listening and integrating so that you can know what you know and show up and support yourself. Does that make sense or resonate, my love?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so
Michelle,
welcome.
I want to share something with you. And just take a deep breath, just in and out, just relax. And I'm going to point you to something that I hope you embrace. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember the love that you remember the power of who you are. Remember that. And as you come back and hopefully watch this replay, feel like there's a vulnerability emitting through you, and it's beautiful. And it's beautiful, and the hurt, and it can tell in your body posture and the way that you look, and it's there, it's alive. There's a gift in that for you. But remember who you are. This isn't going to live in you forever. It's propelling you into what you're truly here to receive, which is beyond that wounding. So open up, remember, beautiful. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
Thank you, Alana.
Oh, our pleasure. We love you.
Oh my God.
Love you guys too.
Yeah, I love you. All right, let's go to the next caller. Rose. Hello, Rose. Welcome.
Aloha. Thank you so much for calling me, John. Thank
Aloha.
you. So, I see you. I don't see Alana now. Let's see.
When she speaks, she'll come on. That's okay.
Yeah. So, well, I'm in a relationship. Actually, my husband is sitting here on the side. I was curious, how can that help like someone that is in a relationship like I am, or us as a couple? Because a lot of what I heard you speaking I could apply to me wanting also to break through certain things in my business that's blooming now, just really pretty much like a little plant that's kind of like, So I was curious on how could it help me, or people like are in a relationship, or is this specifically for someone looking for relationships?
Right. Great question, Rose. As I was saying earlier, my business model isn't designed to keep people single. It's designed to keep people thriving in relationships. So once people are in HeartMates for singles, then the program goes to HeartMates for couples. So I'm very much about helping relationships thrive. And here's what I believe, that we are triggers or catalysts to reveal blind spots for one another, to continue to evolve like a lotus flower with one more leaf and one more leaf. So if I would invite you and your husband to be in, I call it like a dyad, and you would speak back and forth to one another. And when you would receive their communication, you would just say thank you, which doesn't mean I agree or disagree. It just means I heard you. And you would ask a question, maybe a question something like, tell me something you want me to understand. And it could be around our relationship, around lovemaking, around our spiritual connection, around what's aching to emerge through our relationship. Tell me something you want me to understand about such and such that you think I may not fully understand. Okay? So whatever that thing where it's good, but it could be glorious, tell me something about that you think I may not fully understand. And here's the key. The way the brain works and the way communication works, Rose, is that communication is a two-step process. We speak, but until we're heard without judgment, no deflection, no yeah, but like heard without judgment, communication isn't complete. So in this structured communication, which we do in HeartMates, that's our conscious connection calls we do every Friday, we practice this. About the first 10 or 15 minutes, all that's communicated back and forth, heard without judgment, is the mind. But after about 10, 15 minutes of speaking, what begins to emerge is a truth that maybe even you haven't heard before, from deep within, that is aching to come through, that this sacred communication on a regular basis will allow life to have its way with Rose and Rose's husband more than ever before. And if you don't create the structure and you don't peel off the content of the mind that we pick up on because we're empaths or what have you, or just spinning, I promise you there is a knowing and a depth that might shake your boots a bit of like, can we really be this? Can we really receive this? Can we really let go of this amount of control? But I bet you there's something aching to come through two of you, that if you begin this process on a regular basis, you will discover. Do it naked, do it walking in nature, do it over dinner, do it going these conversations on a regular basis, and let me know the magic that unfolds.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, Rose, thank you for calling in. Great question. And Alana, oh, you so rock. It's so amazing. All right, let's continue on to our next caller. Dale, let's get you to unmute. Welcome, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Hello, everybody. To give you a quick summary, I was diagnosed in 1975. Now I'm a coach for the families of schizophrenics, and I was in a 11-year relationship with a totally platonic, non-sexual relationship with my BFF, and that fell apart because she went after some other guy that turned out to be a nightmare. But so 5 months later, about a week after my 65th birthday, I just happened to go on Instagram for a week, and about 5 women expressed an interest in me. And this one, Rose, she and I really hit it off. So, but the thing is that I mean, there are a lot of obstacles between us. I mean, as I said, I turned 65. She turned, halfway, a week later, she turned 32. So next year I'll be twice her age. She has a 8-year-old son, who whose father abandoned her when he was born. She lives in California. I live in New Jersey. But the biggest obstacle is, and this seems like a 19th century problem, but she says that she can't use her phone. I mean, we text every night for 2 hours, and we have a very good relationship. But she says that her phone can't take a pic, can't video chat or have audio. So in this whole time we've been texting, and I've never heard her voice, and I've never seen a video of her. So, but from the very beginning, my mom was saying, well, people are saying, well, if she doesn't want to show you on the phone, then she's not worth it and everything. But my heart and my gut from the very beginning said, this is the one that I want. And despite all the obstacles, the age difference.
So Dale, can I ask you what your question for Allana is?
Well, my question is just how should is it okay for me to go forward without doubt?
No.
Thank you. There you go.
No. You deserve transparency. You deserve vulnerability. You deserve authenticity of seeing who it is you're in relationship with and hearing their voice. And so good on you for beginning, but to move forward with total commitment without being given total transparency, I want to protect you like Mother Bear and say, no, you deserve more.
There you go, Dale.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
feel into that. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you, Allana. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Dale.
All right, let's continue to our next caller. Tatiana. You'll have to tell me, you'll have to pronounce your name for me, please. If you'll unmute, please.
My name is Tatiana.
Tatiana, welcome, Tatiana.
I'm from Europe, and over there, J is very often Y.
Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
I joined.
You might be surprising, but
Let's see who is unmuted, and we'll fix that here quickly.
Okay, it was nice. I joined late, so I'm a psychotherapist, so I had a session with the client. But I want to share what happened in a lockdown. A man with whom I was in deep love in 6th and 7th grade of elementary school found me. I came from former Yugoslavia. It was war, and the country fell apart. And I was wondering, since he lived in Sarajevo, did he survive? If he did, where he was, and so on. And since we live in a quantum field, and kind of we matched on universal internet, he found me, and we fell in love again. And it's a totally, we are exchanging messages, but he's visiting me energetically, and we are totally connected. I feel his love, and it's also erotic and sensual. And it's going into place of total unity, where I feel as if two of us are kind of losing boundaries and becoming a bubble of light or something like that. That's a really nice part of it. But even though it's like that, he lives there, and he has his grown-up kids and grandchildren, and he would never come to live in Toronto where I live. I would never go to live there. So I'm really missing someone to be close to me. But when you mentioned, I got that actually every relationship is revealing what is there to come up and we need to face. And it's when we are with someone, it flashes out. I had a really fear of abandonment. And at one point I felt it and I shared it with him, and he said, I'll never leave you. And that moment doesn't matter, is you know, he may say goodbye tomorrow, but that moment something really opened up in me, and I started trusting myself, not that much him or anybody else, but really trusting me, that I'm not going to abandon myself.
These stories are wonderful, Tatiana. Do you have a question for Allana?
My question is, you mentioned HeartMates. I'm really interested in finding someone and being, once lockdown is over, being with someone, you know, kind of in a close proximity, not just over the ocean. That's my question. What would be your, I signed, by the way, I signed the course.
Oh, great.
What is the best way to, I'm on silver single, but nothing is happening over there really. I tried 2-3 sites, but didn't work really. Any recommendation?
So two things. One, my partnering app is growing day by day. So more and more people from Canada, from Australia, New Zealand, and most of them are in the US and Canada. So over time, more and more people will show up in HeartMates for you. I think the main thing, given what you're saying and what you're sharing with this person, is I would recommend you to command now this level of, now that you've had this healing with the abandonment issue, to command somebody arise in Toronto. That a lot of times when I was dealing with my own issues, I would attract guys across the country. They were perfect. But really it was like, come. But really I wasn't ready, Tatiana.
Yes.
So if you're doing the work and continue to do the work, my request is be in a partnering app where everybody's doing the work, so that you're with a partner that when things get bumpy, they don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Most dating apps have people that when things get tough, let me just pay $1. I'll use everybody and then leave. So protect your heart by being in a place where there are conscious people, number one. Number two is I would command the universe. I'm ready now for someone.
Oh, good.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Great.
Choose it. You have to choose it. I'm having that. That's what I'm having. Do a little ass slapping and readiness, because then they're going to show up, Tatiana, and then it's going to get really intense. And it'll be time for the next healing, and the next integration. Yeah. And the next emergence of the glory of Tatiana. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's, I have goosebumps all over.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for calling in. So, Allana, Tatiana mentioned something that I hear a lot of people having conversations about. And this is a conversation about being the one in the etheric, like finding the partner out there and like manifesting the twin flame, but you know it's showing up, but he's not there. That's in this etheric type of connection, not to validate or invalidate.
Yeah.
But if we're giving our energy there, what happens here? What are we acquiescing?
Yeah. I don't mean to be like a party pooper, but it's really safe to manifest on the etheric in the quantum field, because we don't have to risk. We don't have to worry about being let down. We don't have to worry about being dumped. We don't have to worry about their eyes going over someone else when they walk by. We don't have to deal with any of that shit. We can just like orgasm with the etheric field and like rinse and repeat tomorrow, right? So that's all cool, in my opinion, for practice. But embodiment is what we're talking about today.
Yep.
Being able to wake up, fall asleep, go through the tough stuff, celebrate the great shit, co-create for the good of humanity with somebody in the flesh. So I'm going to challenge you all to go to the next level of embodiment and command, and sitting in the fire and doing the work to open up, to be able to look them in the friggin' eyes, quake in your boots if you need to, but to be willing to have. There's a difference between out here, which is awesome. And I love that you're all so friggin' connected, but there's a bringing it into the body and to integrate it and to root it in and to have it. that, I mean, John and I are only this much ahead of you. Like, we just met our beloveds, right? So we're on the path too, but to really bring it in, I sexy dare your next level of commanding the universe. I'm having this now. I'm having the structure so that I don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. I'm having the community where it's somebody at my level who does the work, but to be, please be willing to command it and have it, take it, claim it. It's not bad manners. I know as spiritual people, we think that's bad manners. No, if there's a piece of cake over there and you want it, you got to take it. You can't just look at it. You can't just like be with the energy of the cake. You got to friggin' take the cake and shove it in your mouth. Eat it, right? Have it. And so this is the level of worthiness and having that we, even on the spiritual path, we deserve. No shame, no shame. Claim it.
Beautiful. And for me, also, it's about sitting in a realm of potential and never actuating it. Just constantly potential. But then again, we lose life force. We lose opportunities. We have regret. We have remorse. And we've wasted our years hoping potential would play with us somehow, but we weren't claiming the potential and actualizing it.
Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart, and we'll be honest, but yeah, this is the structure, my energy, John's energy, to have all of your backs as you develop your own capacity to have your back, to claim it. No more wasting time. The universe needs us. Humanity needs us. Your joy is your birthright. Your pleasure is your birthright. Yeah, claim it.
So beautiful. Let me get into this in a second, but first let me take Selena. Let's get you two unmute. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Well, this is great. I'm in a confusing situation, so I'll try to be as clear as I can. My husband cheated on me with a good friend of mine who is also his cousin and may have had a child that he hasn't really wanted to face. And before lockdown, we were going to be splitting up, but we have a daughter who came back to live with us in lockdown, and it kind of stopped things, and he wants to give it another try. And the trust issue is big for me. I feel like I can't trust myself and that I can't trust him, yet he's being really kind and he's a good father, but I feel a little trapped, and I was hoping to get some guidance.
Yeah, thank you. Judgment clouds awareness. So if there is a closure, a judgment of self or other, fear, any of these things, you can't know what you know. It's not possible. It's not that you're stupid or not trying hard enough. It's that scientifically you can't get in there to your place of knowing, place of trusting yourself. So I would invite you to come to the 2-hour training where I can take you and invite your husband as well. So each of you can do your own inner work to integrate these wounds of betrayal for you. Of him, he probably has shame, right? All of that's in the way of knowing what you both know. You might think you know what you want. I think he knows what he wants to get back together. But once each of you are on the other side of integrating those wounds, there's going to be a dropping into what's true, an opening of your heart, a knowing pre-thought what the actual next best step is for you, for him, for your child, etc. So I wouldn't waste your energy trying to figure it out from up here. That's not where the answer is. The answer is underneath the integration of this wound. It would be my honor and privilege to take you both through this, to support something. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. And this is the fire to go through next. And you know how they say the phoenix rises from the ashes. Be willing to be brave and go through this. And your answers are inside, my love. Yeah.
Well, it was an interesting thing because even though he thinks that I also contributed to this, I agree. There was an energy there that probably contributed to this, but I don't think that his action is also my fault because people also approached me. I mean, I guess people can feel it in you, but I decided not to take that step, even though he decided to take a step. And I resent that he thinks that I'm also to blame for his actions. And I brought that up, and I don't see him budging on that. And it's frustrating me. I'm also taking that Course in Miracles to where we've got to forgive, and it's really helping me, but he's not interested in taking it. So let me see how he feels about joining this course.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. And even when I work with one of the couple, one energy shifts, the other one scientifically has to, and it can still create an opening. But I understand and I hear your frustration, and you are bigger than anybody's behaviors or circumstances. And I want to get you to that place where you take your power back and you choose for your highest good, because that's going to be the highest good for all. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And Selena, to be direct, if you're expecting something from him in the form of regret, shame,
Oh, no.
but there's an energy, well, he needs to apologize, and I could have taken the opportunity, but I didn't. And there's a judgment there where you're really holding out that, well, if you just say this, everything will be okay, or I'll feel better about it. And so you're holding on to a poison that's really poisoning you. And just be aware of that in certain ways. Not that you don't deserve a level of being met, absolutely. But look at the intention as to why you want him to admit that he was wrong and you weren't, or that this is a game back and forth, right?
It pretty much surprised me that he said this. I wasn't aware of it, and I didn't think it was an issue. I think I'm just expressing a little confusion about this coming up at this point. I didn't expect it because I thought we were past that. And when he said that, it threw me for a loop, and it just happened less than a week ago. So maybe that's why it's fresh on my mind. But no, I think we're past apologies. I think we're past regrets. I think, if you want to move forward, you got to let all that drop. And that's why this kind of surprised me, and it took me back to.
That's wonderful. So it's pointing back to the wound, and again, getting to the wound and unraveling it, wringing it out, like Alana's suggesting, is a beautiful
Just
step.
Confused me. I don't know how I felt about it. It surprised me and confused me and threw me for a loop, actually.
That's when it hits a core wound. That's
okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Selena, thank you so much.
I have about time for another question, and then I have another call I need to jump on. I'm so sorry. I don't want to abruptly leave you without having a lovely end to all of this.
No, this is perfect, Selena. Thank you so much.
So do we have time for one more question? Does that work for you?
What I want to do is remind everybody the special offer. Y'all, it's in the chat box. Click on the link, $97, 2-payment option, 30-day money back guarantee. Dive into it. And someone typed a question. They want to know, okay. Oh, y'all have such great questions. But someone's asking if you can please explain more what you mean by the partnership app. And what everybody's doing the work. They're confused about the HeartMate app. So give us some clarification for those who may want to join that.
Well, thank you. This is literally the first of its category. There are no other partnering apps out there. I'm literally creating a new category because dating apps are designed to keep you single. And I am here to help you become the one, to find the one, and keep the one. So my business model goes from HeartMates for singles to HeartMates for couples. And I'm literally here to shake up the dating app world, to show everybody this is why you're literally being used to for money. And I don't want to do that. I want to support you in healing your wounds to find your ideal partner. So HeartMates.app, that is my partnering app where everybody is in the intimacy training. Everybody is on the conscious connection calls, practicing those ways of communicating that I gave to Rose and her husband every single week. So you're getting to know people, not like, oh my God, are you the one? You're like, no, you're just practicing communicating authentically, being a brave communicator and a beautiful listener. And then everybody on the dating app portion is doing the work. So you know that everyone that you're getting to meet does the work, is committed to the work, and is doing the work. And then once you meet and you thrive, you then move over to HeartMates for couples, so I can ensure that you stay together and thrive over time. And this is what I'm, as a founder, I'm excited to go in and meet my members and coach them and take care of them because I'm Mama Bear. And I believe this is what the world is calling for. And this is what emerged through me during COVID to serve at this next level for humanity. It's what I'm living. It's what John is living. It's what even my chief technology officer, he's fallen in love and I'm going to a wedding in India. The work works. And this is the high vibration that I am cultivating. And the first step of realizing what this would be like to do work with me before committing to the year would be this intimacy training that I'm going to provide, and my books and my guided meditations. And you'll have the recording of our intimacy call because the vibration vibration will be high. You'll be able to listen to it over and over and over. So this to me is a wonderful way to invite you to who I am and what I do. Let me serve you in a way that I don't. With normally people have to sign up for a year, but you have a chance to be with me for just $97. So this is my invitation to let me love you. Let me heal these wounds so that you can be prepared for HeartMates.app if that's a fit for you. It's an application process because we don't want everybody in this app, because I'm really serious. This is about a safe place where you're not going to be used, ghosted, catfished, etc. This is where you will become the one, your best self, and meet a partner that is worthy of you because you have done the work to be worthy of this love.
So beautiful. What an inspired weaving of work that you've done. Alana, thank you so much. It's amazing having you in the show. Your energy, your it's just so good. So good.
So good to see you. I'm so happy for you, John. Thank you for having me back. Thank you all for your time of being with us. Please sign up. I look forward to seeing you shortly in the intimacy training. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. Thank you, John.
Enjoy Utah, everybody on the call. I love you. Thank you for being on here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next call.
Sounds great. Much love to all. Mwah. Thank you again, John. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, me too.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.